This video is sponsored by Ollny.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. First of all, let me just say that I'm so excited to open up a video with this beautiful background behind me. If you did not see the DIY French cleat system video, go check that out now. I have opened up many a video with this room looking like a mess, and so I'm so excited to finally have something that I feel is inspiring, that is reflective of who I really am inside. Anyway, today we are starting the Christmas decor process. So in the past, holiday decor really hasn't been a priority for me. I skipped over the whole fall Halloween thing entirely. It's just hard when I have so many other projects going on, but I thought, you know what, we're doing Christmas this year. Now, when I think of Christmas and holiday decor, I often think about like going to Michael's or Hobby Lobby and just like searching for a lot of stuff that kind of goes together and bringing it home and putting it up in your space. And you know that's not the reissued way. Firstly, because you know I like to focus on repurposed materials and thrifting and more of a vintage style, but also because that's way too easy and we have to make things complicated. So this video is going to be part 1 of 2 where we dive into my Christmas decor process, kind of figuring this out as I go along. I have a lot of pieces, I have a lot of ideas, but I'm not really sure how it all fits together. So trust the process, let's jump on in. So when I think about some of my favorite and some of my most popular projects here on the channel, there's kind of 3 things that come into the like reissued formula. Firstly, DIY is my lifeblood because I'm cheap, because I love customizing, and because I have some skills. So rather than going out and spending a lot of money on things that look high-end, I'd rather just find some stuff for cheap and try to make something that looks high-end. The second pillar of my process is thrifting. I live at the thrift store. I love the thrill of the hunt, and I found a lot of really amazing Christmas items over the past year. In my local thrift stores, there's not always a lot of like quality Christmas items, and so I've been really stockpiling these over the past year. Whenever I see something, I'm like, yes, you, because I am extremely picky when it comes to holiday decor. We'll talk about that in a minute. But thrifting is such an amazing way to get really unique vintage pieces for cheap, which we love. And finally, one trend that I see emerging in a lot of my renovation process is that although we can DIY some things, we can thrift some things, there are some components that come in where you just need to like spend the money and do it the right way. I'm thinking of my Brooklinen sheets, I'm thinking of my ceiling fan, I'm thinking of my appliances in my kitchen. This is the skimp and splurge method that we love, where we save a lot of money DIYing and thrifting, and then we have some extra money to really focus on quality items that are gonna last and that are gonna take it over the top. So in this video, we're not gonna focus too much on the DIY element. We're gonna do that more in the next video. Instead, we're gonna focus on a massive thrift haul showing you all of the Christmas decor that I've accumulated. And then also, this video is sponsored by Ollny, and they sent me some fantastic Christmas lights that I'm really excited to show you. By all means, you can thrift some Christmas lights. I did that as well. However, that was before I spent so many hours this week ripping burnt out lights off of Christmas trees. So I'd rather go with something that is LED that's gonna last a little bit better. And also with some of the lights that I'm gonna show you going on the tree, they went on so easily and it will make it very hard for me to go back to traditional lights again. So they ruined it for me. Thanks, Ollny. So before we jump into our holiday haul, I just wanted to touch on a couple of things that I was looking for when putting together my aesthetic for my holiday decor. Those that have been following may notice some overlap with the general aesthetics for my home renovation. I want to make sure that my decor feels really integrated into the other design elements that I'm using in the space so that they'll really last me over the years. So first, we're keeping it classic, lots of reds, lots of golds, and a focus on high quality materials, glass, metal, wood, things that already feel right at home in my space. And with that, I have a couple things that I'm avoiding entirely. I have a no glitter rule, and I also have a no plastic rule, although we might bend that a little bit. We'll see. Second look that I'm loving is kind of like a kitschy, retro, mid-century kind of feel, where it can feel a little bit more cheapy. Things like tinsel and big retro lights and like old school Santa, like love that kind of look. And finally, you know I have a real passion for sort of like geometric looking things. I don't have too much of that look yet, but I'm thinking that I might be making some stuff to kind of push us in that direction a bit more. I just love those modern, edgy lines that will give everything just a little bit more of a contemporary twist. Last thing that I'm thinking about here when I'm accumulating Christmas decor. The word that keeps coming to mind for me is heirloom. Something that has history, something that has quality so that it can last a long time, something that's meaningful so that it can be passed down from generation to generation. And it feels like it has all of the warmth and coziness of something that's personal, but is also aesthetically pleasing, right? I feel like often sentimental Christmas items are like an ugly bulb with like glitter glue on it. Not my jam, but you'll see here that I actually have a number of pieces that I got from my grandparents, from my parents, things that have been passed down to me, and I'm going to incorporate them into my decor. All right, so this table behind me is completely full of all of the things that I've acquired over the last year. Working at the REISSUED was kind of my gateway into accumulating Christmas decor. I started working there just over a year ago, and at that time we were processing so much holiday stuff. We start selling it really early because there's just so much to get rid of, and people will buy it really early. And for a while I was like, no, we're not doing this. I'm not excited about it. I don't want to have a bunch of stuff, which is crazy for me because I have no problem with a lot of stuff. But yeah, we were processing so much stuff and a lot of it was really cool. There are some things that I wish I had bought, but I just wasn't ready to like pull the trigger and start buying Christmas decor until I found these. All right, so these little candy canes were my gateway into thrifted Christmas decor. They are beautiful and glass and just so special. I think I got them for 50 cents a piece, which is crazy. But yeah, these were a turning point for me. They were kind of everything that I was looking for in holiday decor. They hit the classic element with the candy cane style. They hit that sort of mid-century kitschy kind of feel. They're also really high quality with the glass and they feel like a little work of art. They're just magical. So the next item that I think I purchased that same day were these red bead strands. I have 4 of these. These are wood. They are beautiful. I put these on my tree last year. Not sure where I'm gonna put them this year. I just love the quality and the color, the variation with the red. Oh, they're just stunning. So now the floodgates were open, my wheels were turning, I was open for business for Christmas. Let me walk you around the table and show you all the things that I've acquired here. These little nutcracker candlesticks were $1 a piece. I have a whole lot of candles that I got from my grandmother, and so I thought that might be nice to use them up. I was initially thinking that I was just gonna like spray paint these gold. I'm not a huge fan of how these look right now. I still think that's a good idea, but it just seems too easy, doesn't it? So now I'm thinking that I might do some sort of like paint slash collage treatment on them. There was a comment on a recent video about the mannequins here in my studio space, and someone said, why don't you do some collage on them? Which I'm not gonna do, I like them as is. But it got me thinking for these, like, is there a way that I could sort of incorporate some collage and some paintwork on these to keep the Nutcracker look and some of the colors, but with it looking a little bit more fresh and a little bit more me. These terracotta cookie molds were one of my early purchases at the REISSUED as well. I don't think I'm ever gonna make cookies with them if I'm being honest, but aren't they cute? And we love terracotta. They also have holes in the top, so maybe I wanna hang these from my tree, not sure. These little glass candlesticks are not specifically holiday, but I thought they looked really festive. They're definitely feeding that really geometric look that I love, and I just think they're classic and beautiful. So for these stockings, I was in a knitting mood around holiday time last year, and so I bought some yarn and made these. So they're not really reissued, they're just made by me. Something about Christmas time just makes me want to sit down and knit. I used to knit a lot back in the day, sweaters and scarves and things like that. And I had seen some kind of chunky knit stockings that I liked, so I just said, you know what, let's go for it. And it was a really fun, easy knit, and I love the way that these look. Remnants of my knitting mood here. I started making these little knitted balls that are filled with the poly stuffing. I thought they would be cute to string on like a garland. I didn't really make enough for that, so maybe I'll have some time to make the rest of them this year. This wreath is a reissued original. I made these out of coffee stirrers almost 3 years ago. There's a video on my channel, I'll link it below. These have actually held up surprisingly well, and I'm gonna be painting them gold, I think, this year, and doing one on the door. Not sure where to put the other one just yet. I got this little sleigh out of my grandmother's closet. We went through a bunch of her stuff after she passed, and I just thought this was such a beautiful piece. Love the kind of vintage metal look. I'm thinking this might be really pretty on the front porch table or maybe on a mantle somewhere. I got this kind of natural fiber material in a draping class that I took at the Met Museum in New York years ago. We were doing some draping with this and not sure what I'm gonna do with it or if I'm gonna use it this time, but I just thought the color and the look would be really pretty with everything else. I got this basket at the REISSUED for $2 and this lampshade at Goodwill for $2 as well. I'm hoping that I can transform these into little tree collars to go around the bottom and cover up the base. I've seen that done with other kinds of baskets and things. I had a hard time finding things that were big enough to have the right circumference on the bottom and Still not sure that these are big enough, so we'll see what has to happen there. But I just thought that the style and shape of these were really nice. I think this one is gonna get turned upside down and get a hole drilled in it for the tree to come through. Not sure if I wanna paint it yet. I actually kind of like it in this color, but I think it also would look really nice in black. And then this lampshade, I'm planning to cut out that top section so that the tree can sit down in the top. And then I'm gonna make some sort of skirt for it maybe, or cover it with something. Let me know if you have any ideas about what to cover it with. Next is another heirloom type item, I guess, that I got from my grandmother as well. These are little vintage wood Christmas ornaments. I'm not sure what to do with these since they're so small. I really need a really small tree for them to go on so that they can shine, or maybe even on a garland. I just think they seem kind of cute and classic and definitely have that vintage look that we love. Last year I was desperate for stocking holders, so I got these two at TJ Maxx last year. I still like them, they're heavy and metal and pretty, but I didn't necessarily get the best deal on them compared to everything else. This one I did get recently at Goodwill for $4. I kind of like the mismatched look actually, so I might put the star in the middle and maybe try to make another stocking. Not sure yet. Total classic moment here with these glass balls. I got these kind of blushy and taupey colors for 50 cents a piece at the REISSUED. And then the gold ones, I got the whole set for $1 at the REISSUED as well. They're just a good staple and are sort of building out the color scheme here. I got this bag of bells at the REISSUED for $3. I just think that, again, the color is nice, and I just think bells are cute and classic. This red metal set is really funny to me. It's like, items that roll, and then tub. I believe that my mom and my grandmother bought these together. They each bought a set, and so I got my mom's set first, and then I got my grandma's set after, so I have 2 sets of these. I really love that bright red color, love the metal, obviously, and again, they're a really nice, sweet, classic vintage moment. This little red apple set was a hand-me-down set as well. They remind me a little bit of my red beads over there. I just think they're a nice, pretty, shiny color, and that they feel kind of solid and not chintzy and glittery. These here I just picked up at the REISSUED for 50 cents a piece. Believe they came from like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or something like that. They still have the tags on them, but we still love them just the same. This was something that I think I got in the trash at the REISSUED. Whatever kind of attachment was on the back is now broken off, but it's just so beautiful and shiny and solid metal, and again, it's working with this gold theme here. This little bell was 50 cents at the REISSUED. Love that aged brass look. That works with this set here. All of the little smaller brass horns were a family heirloom, and then I got this really big horn in the trash at the REISSUED. It has a bunch of glue on the back. It's kind of nasty, which is why it was trashed, but I'm not afraid of that. Another cute little set of ornament books from my grandmother's closet. And now we make our way over to the giant pile of trim. So this is how things work for me. I was working in the REISSUED one day, and we had a bunch of fabric and a bunch of trims and things that came in, and they were all on the floor. They were right across from the register where I was checking people out. And it started with these little blush tassels because my friend Jackie had said, Andrew, in all of your hunting and thrifting and whatever, if you ever see any kind of blush colored little upholstery tassels, I want to hang them on the wardrobe in my bedroom. And so I saw these and I thought that would be such a great Christmas gift for Jackie. And then I was like, well, there's several of them. Maybe they would be a good Christmas gift for Andrew as well. And before I knew it, I thought, what a great idea to have tassels all over my tree as an ornament. It feels kind of vintage and historied, and they also feel a little bit costumey. Some of you may know that I still work as a dancer. I'm getting ready to fly out today to do a Nutcracker in Boca Raton, Florida. So I'm like, they feel a little bit like Nutcracker costumes with these sort of like rich jewel tone colors. And I think that would look great on my tree. And before I knew it, I had like an armload of trims and tassels and all the things. So with the tassels, I'm just gonna straight up hang them on the tree. But with the trims, I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do with them yet. I thought if I could sort of make some ornaments out of them, that it would be really pretty. But I haven't really done any research for inspiration images, don't really have any ideas. So if you have any thoughts about this, be sure to drop those in the comments. I think that would be a fun thing to tackle in the next video. This little blue tree was one of my earliest holiday purchases. I've had this one for, I think this makes 17 years. Lights are still going strong. Not sure if it works with all the other things that I have, but it's sentimental to me at this point. I love this color, and it does have a little bit of that kitschy mid-century borderline tacky feel, so I think I can make it work with everything else. Let me know what you think. One of my absolute favorite finds this year are these little pipe cleaner type trees from Goodwill that were $4 each, which is like the steal of the century. I think the cream color is just so natural and pretty and works with my decor so well. However, glitter. We hate glitter. So here's my gripe with glitter. I don't think it feels very vintagey, or it just doesn't feel very elevated. And it's just so messy and gets everywhere. And so my plan for these, I think, is to do some kind of like collage, decoupage situation on the bases, maybe with some book pages to keep that kind of like natural black and white kind of look and cover up the glitter. Let me know what you think. I don't think this is the worst glitter I've ever seen, so they definitely could stay as they are, but I think we can do better. And finally, we have the lighting section. I did pick up a couple of thrifted lights at the REISSUED. They're all white, some with the white cord, some with the green cord. I also have these little fairy lights that are battery operated that I think they used to be my roommates, so I've had those for a bit. I'm gonna do those on the mantle since I don't need to run a cord to them. I got these little light clips for $2 at the REISSUED so that I can hang some lights outside on my porch. Finally, we have my new favorite Ollny lights here. I have a hanging curtain light, and then I also have these, which are cluster strand lights. My parents and I just put these up on my front porch last night, and they looked so good, and were also so easy to put up. It's funny, I had a really long to-do list this week, and it's always the thing. I try not to overbook myself, but there's just some things that I'm like, oh, that'll take 5 minutes, and it takes like 3 hours, literally. And this was one that I'm like, I was prepared for tangling. I was prepared for lights to not work. I was prepared for the hanging process to be awful, and everything just went really smoothly. So thank you to Ollny for making one part of my week really easy.
And last but not least, we can't forget the big tree. Or trees in my case. I picked up this white tree first at the REISSUED for $30. All of the pre-lit lights were burned out, but some working red and white lights had been added. And this $40 tree from the REISSUED had no working lights at all. So let's take off all the lights on both. This was a surprisingly tedious process since the pre-lit lights were strongly wrapped and attached with little clips and zip ties. A million hours later, we have a heap of broken lights and 2 clean blank canvas trees to start from. Let's get some working lights going. First up, let's open up the curtain lights from Ollny. These come in 2 different lengths. I chose the shorter length since I measured and saw that this length would fit perfectly across the end of my porch behind the swing. These are waterproof, which is super important since they're going outside. Note that these have a USB plug-in, so we'll need a standard USB adapter to plug them in. I'm hanging these using my $2 thrifted clips that will snap right onto this ledge on my porch. Perfect. I keep the curtain strands in bundles to help me keep everything organized while I hang them. I'm just weaving the lights through the front of the clips, and then spacing them evenly along each of the hanging strands to distribute the weight evenly and give a consistent look. Now let's release the strands and light these up.
All right, moment of truth. Let's light these up. I am pressing the on button. So I consulted with the instructions, and sometimes you have to press the little button on the USB port to get things going for the first time, and they lit up. All right, they are on and twinkling. Can't tell too well because it's not dark yet, but we'll come back in a few minutes when it's dark and check out the finished look.
The remote allows you to choose between 8 different settings. I prefer setting 8, which is just on. Yeah, I'm basic. But I'm always going for that timeless classic look. I love how the thin and transparent cords fade away and leave the lights feeling suspended. Pretty magical. And even though these are LED, they still have a nice warm white tone, which is essential to me.
All right, so we're gonna wrap up part one of the Christmas decor process by putting some lights on the front porch tree. Funny story here, a little behind the scenes. When Ollny reached out to me about doing a sponsored video, they let me choose from their product selection, and I chose this product, these cluster light strands. I thought they would be great on a Christmas tree to offer more light with less cord, and I wanted to do a tree on my porch. It was all coming together. They sent me the product already, and then they emailed me and said that this product was such a hot seller that they actually wanted to switch to a different product since they were already selling out of this product. So we switched to the curtain lights instead, but they let me keep these, and so we're gonna give them a try anyway. I think they're gonna look beautiful on the tree on the front porch. Can't wait to light it up. So this tree actually has a mechanism where when you plug it in, it turns really slowly, which is kind of cool, although kind of a little bit like animatronic. It's a Small World, which is a bit much for me. We can't plug the lights into the wall and have it rotate, or they would just gradually wind up. So we tried plugging it into the stem the way that they're intended to be, and it doesn't work. And I don't really want to risk it because all the lights were like black and had blown out before. So we're just gonna light this tree without the rotating feature, but I just wanted to show you because I thought it was kind of fun.
At the time I'm editing this video, this product is in fact sold out on Ollny's site, but I wanted to show it to you anyway so you can be prepared to pick these up right away next year. Having the lights clustered together on a shorter cord gives you way more lights with way less effort, and it looks so good. They were a bit harder to get spaced evenly as I worked down the tree and the branches got more spaced out. But with a little bit of fiddling, we were able to get the lights looking organic and more random, like freshly fallen snow or the magic swirling dress transformation in Cinderella. You know what I mean? There's still a lot of decor that can happen with this tree and with the porch in general, but having a solid foundation of light was the perfect start.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you'll leave some comments down below, letting me know what some of your favorite items from my haul were, letting me know what you think about some of the questions that I had about what to do with certain items. I love to hear from you in the comments, and you often have such wonderful ideas, so I can't wait to hear what you have to say. Be sure that you're subscribed and stay tuned for next week's video where I'm gonna be transforming some of these items, starting to put some decor things together in the space. I'm so excited to get my house decorated, and I can't wait to take you with me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.